Welcome back to another episode of PT Post Mortem. I'm one of your hosts, Swaggy, Dr. Kush. I got Doc in the booth with me. What's wrong, Doc?
We started off so well. We did about a 5-minute segment before this, and now I'm playing Cable Management Simulator 2024 just to get this to work. You may notice I have a different microphone. That's because my microphone just decided to blow up for some reason, so hopefully it hasn't blown up, and I'll sort that out later.
We're good though, right?
Yeah.
Everything's good?
We're good.
Looking good? All right.
Everything's
I have to ask.
We're on the cams. Everything's
ask.
being recorded, so I think we are all safe. We're all sound for right now, as long as nothing else happens. And we've got the PSGP, we've got 126, and then we have got some nice news about UFC 5, so we'll get into that into a bit. But first and foremost, you were wrong in your correction of Robin getting into the GP. He did end up pulling out beforehand.
Yeah, Robin fucked me.
You were correct with Vuck and Smudger in what times they would lose, so fair enough.
I'm always right.
But outside of that, yeah. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's not waste any time. We're about an hour behind schedule ourselves.
I had bad predictions. Predictions. First fight was Vuck versus Goated.
Yep.
And Vuck dog walked him. He looked like the champion.
No, he did. Again, it's one of those things, as you... seeding wise, it sometimes happens, so that's to be expected, but hey ho, that's the way it goes. Following from that fight, you had Ned versus Proxer, a war and a half. Boxer v boxer. Ned turns out to be the better one. Again, second round KO. The second round is where most of the finishes happen. As someone who puts all the data entries into the sheet, it's always the second round normally. It's very rarely the first, and it's very rarely the third. Second round is, if you want to bet on someone losing a round, bet on the second round.
Yeah, that's a fair bet.
From that one, we had Smudger versus Wicked. Smudger came out and took control again.
Wicked didn't look like he belonged. Second round KO, I believe, right?
Yep, second round KO. And then you go into the third round KO versus the beloved Versatile versus Who came out and the better strike.
Yeah, and Who won that fight. Very surprisingly. Nobody expected Verse to lose that early.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was in my DMs afterwards. I think it's nerves. He's still trying to get used to. He's been playing for a long time.
I'll tell you what it is, Doc. I'll tell you what it is.
What is it?
He's been calling me Saggy. He's been leaving the W out of my name. And when you fuck with Swaggy, you get karma. And that was the Swaggy karma. Because there's more Swaggy karma in this tournament, Doc. There's a lot of Swaggy karma in this tournament.
Well, there's a couple of curses as well, but and a couple of mythical elements, but we'll get into that in a second. Following that one, you had Vanio versus the live debut of Curtis.
Bro, Vanio looked so good. Nobody knew who Kurt was. Nobody knew who Curtis was. All three of us were like, who the fuck is this guy? I was more lifeful for him than Jay, because Jay was like, listen, I'm not even giving this guy a fucking shot. And I was like, nah, man, what if Curtis was out here and fucking beats Vanio? That would be awesome. He did it. And he did it. He did the opposite. He got his ass beat.
He definitely did do it, and he looked good doing it. Following from that, we had Ginger. If you didn't see it, go watch it. Ginger basically got dog walked. Got dog walked.
No, not basically got dog walked. He did get dog walked. Yeah. Like Dave grabbed him, put a leash on. It was worse than me versus Romero. It was bad. Ginger messaged me after and said, I don't even want to talk about it because he knew I was gonna get on this podcast. He knew I was gonna get on here, and I was gonna be like, listen, just because you beat the dog shit out of me on unaired in PlayStation doesn't mean you have any right thinking you can do that in the GP against Dave. Ginger should have just started fucking cross sniffing, because that's what he's good at. Dave looked so good in this fight. He made Ginger look like a child out there. A fucking child. Humble's kid might have done better than Ginger in this moment. It was awful for Ginger. GG's, Dave.
I mean, it was definitely the case that Dave took the mythical energy that Ginger has in BSGPs and used it on Ginger instead.
Oh, it was definitely Dave didn't hit 5 wins yet.
It was Dave at that hit in the 4-0.
Dave was only at 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Dave hit 4-0 with the Ginger win. Yeah.
Yeah, he. That's how he got into the GP. It was late notice replacement, replaced someone. I think it may have been one of the AKA guys. In fact,
Ginger's going back to Xbox. Confirmed.
And then you had Naz versus Mike. Now, originally when this card was announced, Mike literally had me asking what the fuck, because I think Mike was very annoyed he got Naz. And then it was like, based on seeding, so it's nothing in terms of bias and matchmaking, that is the way it goes. And yeah. So he's kind of doing that, but that, and then I think later down the line, as it got closer to the fight, I think Mike started chatting more shit. And so then by the time the fight hit, Mike was saying he was going to beat him, I believe. That's at least what I've seen from a couple of Discords. And then after Naz beat him, he was a bit confused by who he was. So a bit of disrespect there, a bit of back and forth between those two.
Yeah, there was a lot of beef in that one. There's always beef when it's involved in Naz because of who Naz is.
Yep.
And yeah, I thought Mike had a chance out of everybody Naz ran into in this tournament. Mike had one of the best chances. We'll get into that later, but yeah, Mike didn't do what he had to do. Mike fell short a little bit, and Naz ended up taking the win.
Yep, and then you go into the second round. That was at bantamweight. You had Vuk versus Proxer. Proxer lost that by round 3.
Proxer looked good though.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good fight.
Then you had Smudger versus Hoo, which is a fight you would have probably seen in the early PlayStation era. It's one of those fights where
Smudger made Hoo look like he never played the game before.
Again, it's one of those fights you see at the very beginning of the PlayStation era, and Smudger still holds that capacity to fight the way that he did all the way back then. It honestly, across the board, it was a really nice showing from Smudger. He suffered a couple of hard losses, a couple of difficult fights, but then he's also made a good return and showed pretty good ones. Now, a shock win was Dave versus Vanio.
Yeah, and here's why Dave won that fight. Dave was only 4-0, and Dave's ceiling right now is 5. Yeah. So Dave will go on a 5-fight win streak, but Dave can't go higher than 5 right now. The ceiling's not 6. The ceiling is 5.
Mm-hmm. It is really strange.
Now Dave's gonna lose 5. Dave beat Vanio.
Mm-hmm.
To make it to the semifinals.
Yeah,
we're not in the semifinals yet, but we will be there in a second.
Well, we've got 2 more fights. We'll quickly flick through them. We had Naz versus Nasty. Nasty went through from a buy-through because Mud UFC pulled out. I think they were angling to get B3 Goat in, but
it was Mud's birthday.
You're not going to get in. That's just fact.
Yeah.
It was Mud's birthday.
It was Mud's birthday, right? So did Mud get a pass for that? Mud didn't get in trouble for that, right?
Mud's suspended for a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Mud did get suspended for that. I mean, don't get drunk.
You can pull out like. The card got delayed. It's understandable, but if you know it's going to be your birthday, you know you're going to absolutely fucking shit faced. Maybe not keep doing the card.
Sometimes. So I'm not arguing this. I understand. You know, you do it. You do your time, whatever. But I would argue that sometimes I plan on getting drunk, and then I'm like, I could do this while I'm drunk. He probably was like, fucking UFC 5. Do that shit sober. Why the fuck can't I do it drunk? And then he was cooked. He got to a point where he was like, oh, I am not playing any UFC 5 today. So I've been there. Mm-hmm. I hope Mud had a good birthday. We'll see him in a couple of weeks.
See you a couple. Exactly. Vuk versus Smudger. That'll be the one. Smudger lost to Vuk at the very end of last season, but did manage to get the win back in this one, which is nice. That was in the title fight, 5 rounds.
It was such a good fight too. Like Smudger got it done. Like
that's late. In the semi-finals as well. That's middleweight.
Yeah, It was a good fight. And then we go to Naz versus Dave, where now Dave was 5-0, and we were all rooting for Dave here. well, there are some low-key Naz fans.
There's always low-key Naz fans. That's the way it goes.
But I will always be rooting against Naz. I want that man to lose this title fast. However, I thought Dave was going to be the one. Low-key at the bottom of my heart, I knew. Once Doc told us he was on a 3-fight winning streak before Jinja, I knew deep down Jay was like, "Oh, he's looking real good tonight."
He's just buzzing.
But I knew deep down, it's a wrap. He already won 5.
Mm-hmm.
He already got his 5 on the season. Now, unfortunately, he lost to Naz. He got 4 more losses left. So he'll probably make it back on 2 main cards. He'll lose both. He'll be on unaired, lose both. And then he's going to come back, and then he's going to win those, and then he's going to win 2. It's going to be a cycle. It's going to be a cycle. When we see Dave, eventually Dave will be 7-5 back on the main card. And everybody will be like, Swaggy's always right. And if Dave proves me wrong, congrats, kid. I'm fucking proud.
Please, Dave, prove me wrong. Please.
You finally broke the fucking curse. He's not going to prove me wrong. David is not going to prove me wrong.
I really hope he does. I really, really hope he does.
Dave might be... I think Dave was my first ever scumbucket. But Dave might be one of my favorite fighters, low-key. Like, I fuck with Dave heavy, but it's facts. 5-5.
Well... From that fight onwards, we have Smudger versus Naz.
Now, that was a fight where Smudger got outclassed after round 2. Like, everything after round 2 was outclassed.
Yeah, I mean, it went to decision.
He was down 4-1.
I don't think either of them were very happy with the weight class, though. But I looked in their chat afterwards. So, okay, Smudger was very much, who picked this weight class and whatnot? Which is something to note for future when you're looking at these fights, because the contender gets weight class pick in future. So this time it's welterweight, but you could definitely see a different pick, and it could benefit Smudger late down the line, especially since he gets the weight class pick at another time.
So yeah, that's all weird, but the whole thing with that is like, I don't know. The Smudger and Naz fight is something we all wanted to see, and it ended up not being what anybody expected.
I think it was improved when one of them picks the weight class, because they'll take it to a weight class, and also they'll have a week to gather their thoughts about it.
I would like to see them fight again, which they're definitely gonna, because Smudger's gonna be on a tier coming back into this season.
I think both of them are. Smudger's got a couple of good fights. Ripe's got a couple of good fights. I mean, should we get...
Who?
Huh?
Did you say Ripe?
Yeah, Ripe's on the main
I
card.
was just thinking about Ripe. Like, before you said Ripe, I literally had in my head, I was going to say after you finished the sentence, you know who's a big person that wasn't in this GP, but we got to look at him this season?
Well, the other big person was fucking Frosty, and I've still yet to see Frosty anywhere.
That's Xbox. That's Xbox, and
he's still a big person.
I don't know if I'm DMing. I don't know if I'm DMing the wrong Frosty. But whatever Frosty I'm DMing, Frosty, if you're watching the podcast and you don't have DMs from me, can you DM me? Because like I might be DMing the wrong Frosty. There's 18 Frosties. There's 18 Frosties.
Oh, I can probably get you the right name if needed.
And so I just guessed.
You guessed.
I said, yo, can I ask you a couple questions? This was like 5 weeks ago.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no worries. Okay, fine.
So I mean, I'm Frost, like I would buy Frosty merch. Like I'm Frosty's biggest fan. Like Frosty's ice cold. I'm Frosty's biggest fan. But I'm one of Ripe's biggest fans too, because I love Ripe. I love me some Ripe. All right, what do we got? What do we got for this card? Where do you
want to start? Top or bottom?
But Doc, you always want to start from the fucking main card. Start from the prelims like a normal person.
So we have the captain of the Dunce squad, Holdy, versus Spectral Rush. He's making his debut. He's gone 1-0 on it.
Good for him. Take a step back. The captain of the what?
Of the Dunce squad.
The Dunce squad.
Yeah, the
That's
Dunce hat.
That's a UFC camp?
No, but I've nicknamed him that since he did have the dunce roll on him for a while, and he's, yeah.
Oh, because I was about to be like, listen, y'all got to stop making camps if this is what you're going to name them.
I mean, we can talk about camp for 2 seconds, because I've got an issue with camps right about now. So, yeah, fuck it, we'll get into it. If you can be part of a camp, you can be part of AK, you can be part of WR, you can be part of FSK, you can be any other camps. I don't care. PT doesn't care. What camp you're in, if you are ranked close to each other, you will fight each other. That is the way it works. If your ranking is close, if let's say you are 20 and your teammate is 18 and you're on a -1 and he's on a +1 or something near about, taking in consideration record as well, you will most likely fight each other unless there's a better option, and that is just the way it goes. Congratulations, you're in a league that is international, that has a lot of players. Sometimes that means you will be fighting your campmates. Honestly, they normally make for quite good fights, and I think a couple people like John Africa said, like, WR loves fighting WR for some reason. So congratulations on that camp.
I don't think John Africa is WR anymore. But yeah, I just want to add on to that. For example, when I was in TST, me and Lepo, when Lepo was also in TST, got matched up in like 3 different leagues a bunch of times. And we loved it every time because you could just have fun. You could join a party. You could just go crazy with them. Like, you corner each other pretty much at that point. It's a joke fest.
Well, it's both that, and also if you want to take it seriously, you take it seriously. You just do it that way. That's the way these leagues work, especially this league. You're going to fight campmates. Tough shit, honestly. Like,
if I ran into Reaper, like, now, even though I'm STK, I'd bully that man.
I think Reaper would bully you.
I uninstalled the game, so we can't. Moving on.
Well, moving on, we've got Regicide Tate Strand versus EK Warrior, which is honestly a main card fight, but it's on the prelims, which is nice to see.
Every time I say friend the man, he loses.
Please don't say it then.
I got Warrior.
I mean, yeah, I think Warrior's got a win over Trixie.
Yeah, Warrior's good, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, above that, you have Reese versus Mix-Ups. Reese's making his air debut. Mix-Ups, well, we all know Mix-Ups, the man with the horrible record, according to you, last season.
What's his record right now?
2-1 on a +2.
Yeah, he's starting to look bad.
Then we have AK Hoo versus AK Josh. Again, this fight was more put together due to 2 pullouts in both the Hoo fight and Reaper having to dip this week. So that fight got put together that way.
Though.
I like it as well.
I like this fight a lot, Hoo and Josh. That's a good fight. I do think Josh wins. But they've obviously fought each other a lot, so we'll see. One thing that's going to be cool about this fight, Josh is already going to be used to the Hoo lag, or they might not even have any, because I think Josh is actually pretty close to Hoo, so they might actually have a good connection.
Well, Hoo is Egypt and Josh is UK, so it's probably about 150.
Yeah, so it's probably not bad.
It's probably not too bad.
I know I got 400 when I fight Hoo.
Oh, Jesus. That's like dino level ping. That's impressive. We have Cheery versus MBK Hold. They're both 2-0, both making their debut. I think Rockhold may have made his debut last season at the very end, but Cheery, this is definitely his part. He's part of the EK. EK in recent times is making a really big push, so it's going to be interesting to see that.
MBK, man. Both camps are really making a huge push, kind of getting a lot of guys on main cards and shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. And when we have Vodka versus Lepo. That's a face. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's Vodka versus Lepo.
Oh, Lepo, buddy. Lepo, buddy, Doc's throwing you to the wolves, dude. That's bad. My boy, Lepo.
He was the closest ranked guy to Vuk, who was on a plus.
Fuck. Damn, Lepo, you better pray you get COVID or something.
Jesus. Well, then that brings us from the main card. Originally, we did have Trixie versus Basic. We're still looking for a replacement for Trixie. Basic may fight. He may not. Depends on that. So, sad fight we get to miss. Maybe we look at rebooking it next week. Following from that, though, you have Ripe versus Joby Joe.
I never heard of that other guy. Let's fucking go, Ripe. Easy win. Let's go.
Well, you can tell who the favorite is in that. Then we
Is Ripe 2-0? Ripe's 2-0 right now,
Ripe's 2-0.
Oh, easy. Oh, baby, this is the season, Doc. This is the season. Ripe told me in my chat last season, he was like, listen, I'm going to be taking the next couple of weeks off. I'm going to really focus on it. I'm going to come back better. Next season's going to be my season. I said, Ripe, you taking that PT belt home. Not he, we taking that PT belt home. It's going to feel like I won that bitch when Ripe wins.
Well, then we have Smudger versus Limitless. I think
Limitless is good, but Limitless is good, but Smudger's better. Smudger's gonna win that fight.
A couple of these. Well, it's the same case with the right fight. It's a relatively unknown fighter who's still making himself known versus an established name.
Ripe's gonna be fine.
Apparently, Smudger as well, according to you. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe you're right. We'll see. Chris versus EK Jiro. Jiro making his live card debut this season. He's 3-1. He on a +1. He's
Chris.
Chris is 3-0.
Who the fuck is
EK Jiro?
No, who's either of them?
MV Chris.
Oh, NV Chris. Okay, when you say that, I'm like, oh. But when you just say Chris, I'm like, y'all gotta stop using your gov names. Just Chris. I was like, that sounds like Curtis. He's gonna get murked. But NV Chris really good.
Mm-hmm.
I against the NBK guy or EK guy.
EK. Jiro.
I never heard of the EK guy.
No, I've never heard of the EK guy either.
I'm sure it will be a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're both, there for a reason.
Yep. Then we have Fadinator versus Ali Dave TPT10 something or other. Man who got forced to vacuum before his fight. Hadley.
Fad, you let me down 2 weeks ago, and I'm not gonna forget about that. Honestly, who even is Fad right now? Is Fad like a beat up version of himself? Is Fad going down like the Tony Ferguson path? Like is Fad about to go on a -7? Like
you
what?
Do this
what?
Every time. Anytime one of the big exports guys you do this. You did it with Trixie. Now you're doing it with Fad. What the fuck, Swag? What the fuck?
Listen, and I know Fad's gonna be mad about this, but Fad, what the fuck? Like you did.
What is Fad no longer the baddie?
I mean, nah. Right now, Fad's just a laddie.
It's Fad the laddie, not Fad
That's
the baddie.
It.
Jesus.
Fad the laddie. That's it. He's just a laddie right now. He's not a baddie anymore. Not right now. Not until he fucking shows me something. He made me look stupid. Swaggy's supposed to always be right, and I was wrong 2 GPs in a row. That's not okay, Doctor. It's not okay.
I can tell.
It's Fad's fault, and don't even get me started about Robin. No, but I do think Fad. I do think Fad beats Aladipo because Aladipo legit has not been the same since he forgot to vacuum that one time.
Yeah, no.
You remember that?
He actually DM'd me a few nights ago, asking about his original GP fight with Fad, because it's always bothered him if it should have been 5 or 3 rounds. And it was like, I had to have a discussion with him going like, it's not 5 because Fad wasn't the champion at that point. He only won the belt at the very finals, and even now that's been bothering Ali, which is really weird. But
that kind of is this a 3-round fight?
Yes, it's another 3-round fight. Their original fight was at heavyweight. This is at lightweight. I remember when Ali first came into the picture. Actually, he managed to earn himself a main event against Fad very early season. That was 5 rounds, but that was a heavyweight again because Ali was scared shitless.
Ali, so here's the thing. Ali is really good. Obviously, so is Fad. They're both great kids too. Like they're both like great individuals. I've talked to both of them. I believe I've talked to Ali, but like I've interviewed the both of them. They're great people, and I'm excited to see this fight for the both of them. Just now hearing there's a little bit of backstory to this. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Vision Quest. It's about a wrestler. It's about a wrestler. He loses his junior year in state finals to this one guy, and he works all year up to the next state finals to beat this guy. This guy's undefeated, never lost before, and he pins him in the state finals. This is Oladipo's vision quest. I think Oladipo's vision quest is to beat Fatinator.
Very possible.
And right now is the best time because he's just Fatty the fucking laddie.
Apparently so. Apparently so. Well, our co-main event after that fight would be AK Dave versus K1 Cooked.
Wait, Dave's in the co-main?
Yeah, he's ranked number 1. Cook's 2-0.
Listen, Dave's next 4 opponents are about to have a fucking field day. All right, because Dave has 4 losses left. I had this conversation earlier. Dave has 4 losses left. Cooked could go out there and not even trying. He go win because the EA gods make him 5-5 every time. It's gonna
look really bad if he does lose it. It's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely an interesting fight to watch, and
I can't wait till he does lose. I can't wait till he does lose because we're in the booth together, and I'm just gonna look at you and be like, "Doctor, doctor," like.
Indeed. Well, and our main event would be FSK Driz versus Regicide Dex Primacy.
Ooh, Driz versus Dex. That's.
Yeah.
So Dex is good. Dex is on the come up too.
Yeah, Dex has been solid across the board.
And Driz is a savage because I mean, Driz. Let me tell you why Driz is a savage, right? Driz turned Fatty the Patty into Fatty the Laddie, and that's his teammate. He little brothered his own teammate. He little guyed his own teammate. Like that takes a different kind of animal, right? Right? Different kind of savage. Driz versus Dex, go be a close fight. And I'm a little worried about the Xbox Division belt because usually we're used to somebody holding the Xbox Division belt for a long time and never losing it. We're not used to it like being loosey
jumping
goosey
about the belt.
Yeah, jumping all over. And I'm not sold on the fact that Driz is that guy to hold the belt for a long time, but I'm also not really sold that Dex is the guy to take it from him.
I think Driz can hold it on for at least a couple title defenses. Maybe before Fad gets back in the picture, chooses his own weight, and then starts to bring more hassle there. Maybe.
Fatty the Laddie?
Yeah, maybe. Well, their first fight with Driz versus Fad was welterweight. That was Edwards versus Primary Lawler. I think Fad was Lawler. He basically used the power to his advantage, but then the fight they had in the GP was at middleweight. That was Pereira versus Izzy. Fad still had the power pick, but I think he just got the stam caused a lot of issues because Pereira for some reason just gasses out quite quickly. It's a weird quirk of Pereira. I think it's a lot of his 5-star moves just gas him out. So maybe that, right? Would you like to know who they're going? It's a featherweight.
One of them's Conor McGregor.
Okay, who's McGregor?
Driz is Conor.
Yep.
And Dex is probably Ilya.
Yep. We got McGregor versus Ilya, which I think is one of the first. I think this will be our first Ilya to Poirier.
So I like that Ilya pick because Ilya is the perfect matchup for Conor.
Yeah, no, for sure. for sure.
That's gonna be a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
So now since we're done with like PT stuff, should we just like dive right into like the game changers going to Canada and
I wasn't really aware of the game changers going to Canada, so you can happily tell me. I do know about the update, which I do also want to talk about, but we can talk about
the update. The update's gonna drop tomorrow. There's an update dropping tomorrow. There's 9 fighters coming out with the update, but there's 30 fighters coming out within the next 3 months.
So tomorrow we have got rank number 5 at Mozart Edibov at featherweight. We got Brendan Allen at number 6 at middleweight. So that's another submission specialist instead of just Paul Craig. You have Maria Rodriguez at women's strawweight. Yippee, it's women's weight. Mohamed Makayev at flyweight. That's a nice addition. You have Serbio Spivak at number 9 heavyweight. Basically, you've got another Pavlovich there. That's going to be fun. You've got Jeff Neal finally coming into the roster, which is nice. You've got Umar Nurmagomedov in bantamweight. He's going to be fun. Tracy Cortez, ranked number 11 women's flyweight. I don't know who she is. And then you have Diego Lopez, who I was aware of the name, but nothing else.
Yeah, not even gonna lie to you, Doc. I really don't give a fuck about the fighters right now. I care about the game mechanics, right?
Well, the game mechanics look good, reading the patches.
But the patch notes look good. The patch notes look good.
Reduced stamina recovery by 20% around. Improved the duck.
They finally worked on body work too a little bit.
Where did they work on the body work?
Down a little bit, not.
They fucked around with leg kicks a bit more, so they got better. So they've got better stopping power. The leg kicks themselves go from 20 to 30%, calf kicks from 40 to 50, and the obliques from 60 to 80. They fucked around with the cartwheel kicks and rolling thunders.
Yeah. They buffed those.
They reduced the execution frames on the haymakers, so they're slower to come out, and then they've increased kicks that are quite slow, like the tornado and the 720 spinning kick. So so there's more bleed through on them, so it's better to dodge them instead of just blocking them. Rolling thunder, they've kind of made it easier to counter, and it's less stun frames. Sidekicks, they've sped up its starting frame, so it's a bit quicker. Front kicks they fucked around with, so you're going to see less people walking forward trying to rear front kick you in the face. Yeah. They've tuned up the takedowns, looking at this. So hopefully it should mean it's better to shoot in combos and they're a bit quicker. They've also changed the short-term stamina cost of the muscle modifier, which is where you could press a bumper in side control and just power transition back into side control, which made it extremely difficult to hold. That now means short-term stamina cost is going to be higher, which means it's going to be more risky and probably drain a bit more stam, which is better overall. Single under escapes, dominant elbows are now being fixed basically, but not necessarily the clinch elbows, which is kind of annoying because those are a big one that do need to get fixed. And a couple of changes to the AI. They've also added Aljamain Sterling to featherweight.
Yes. That's all cool and good. And the alter egos are coming out the 9th. I don't exactly know who's gonna be the alter egos, but I do have a possible idea of BJ Penn being one. Romero may have slid info to me. I'm not too sure if he was fucking with me or not though, because Romero.
I did see Zayaf type in, I think, the official Discord saying something about Gustafsson. So
Gustafsson would be dope.
Gustafsson would be good. There are some fighters that would definitely be Gustafsson's one. BJ Penn, I politely couldn't give a shit about.
I'd be cool with a BJ Penn. I saw Pride talking about another Overeem, and I was like, no. How many fucking Overeems do we need?
We've got 2 already. Jesus, I don't want any more.
They should have left him out the game, but like, whatever.
Give me Mark Hunt back. I want Mark Hunt back.
Mark Hunt would be dope, but I don't think they can put him in the game.
No, I mean, Basrudin.
Baz would be cool. I mean, there's a lot of fucking legends that would be cool.
Just look back at who they've added in the past.
now a bunch of the game changers went to the EA headquarters in Vancouver. I haven't watched any of the vlogs yet. I'll be reacting to those live on stream, but I know like King Diaz went, Romero went, Marshall went, Balin went, Zayaf went. I saw a video of Marshall and Romero mo-capped up and rolling. Mo-capping takedowns that we don't have in the game. I asked Romero where were the slams you were hitting me with, and he said they might have already been recorded with a winky face because once again lives to fuck with me. Can never just say yes or no. Lives to fuck with me.
Well, he can't confirm anything, can he?
Break NDA. Break NDA. I'm Swaggy. I'm special. Break NDA. I don't give a fuck about that NDA. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And then so now the Canada trip, Romero mentioned that when I went to interview him. He mentioned that they were trying to get the game changers down to Vancouver, and I don't know if all of them went. I also want to point out King Diaz, when I did the interview with Romero, was not a game changer. Was not a game changer. EA flew him out. They may be bringing King Diaz onto the game changer, like, roles, like to make him a game changer, which would be very good because he is kind of, he brings the voice from the other side of the community that's not really often heard. So that's good.
What side is he on?
He's like neutral. He's like me, pillar of positivity. Would you say I'm not a fucking pillar of positivity? The way you just that was.
You're a pillar of something.
Fuck off. You're fucking always mad all the time doesn't mean I can't be happy all the time. Goddamn, doctor. However, yeah, so like all of this, it's starting to come together, and I mean, I don't think we should praise the game changers yet, but the game changers are working hard, and so is the dev team. I'm trying relentlessly to get a developer on the Swagcast so I can talk to.
Let's be honest. The start of UFC 5 has been shocking.
It was horrible. It was horrible. What they're doing now is how the game should have been dropped.
Yes.
But
no, I agree.
But what we're getting now is like initially what we kind of wanted. I'll probably re-download the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, looking at the patch notes themselves as well, it's all going in the right direction. A lot more than what we've seen in previous patches. Is that they've been quite small, but this one, honestly, it's massive. It hits a lot of key areas, and you want a lot of those key areas. It's nice to see, and hopefully, after a year, which is kind of what you look at for a lot of these games nowadays, after a year, it sorts itself out, and then you're in a really good spot. I think there's a lot of stuff that still needs tweaking, a lot of stuff that still needs fixing. But by the sounds of it, as you mentioned, we did with them being in Vancouver, them at the quarters, they're already possibly recording stuff. It looks like everything's going in a beneficial, positive manner.
The thing with the mocap, I read Romero say to somebody, if we do get those takedowns in this game, it's going to be in a late build. But we really need to be like vocal that we do still want the new animations and like stuff like that. So don't stop doing what y'all are doing. We're doing a good job at letting EA know that this product was shit and we deserve better. And they really are trying to give us better. They're doing the best they can.
Well, I mean, the entirety of the 30 new fighters.
I don't think beefing with the game changers and the devs is really going to solve anything. I mean, there was this handsome guy. He's Irish, curly hair. He went to wrestle a game changer. I really do think he changed the game for the better.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm fucking Irish. Who are you, Ginger? Because I'm not from Ireland. I'm not Irish. Is crazy. I have Irish in me.
I don't get. We're not getting into this debate about the Americans and if you're no, you're American. Shut up. Put them back on. You're American. End of discussion. Nah, we're not going there.
I'm from America.
Yeah, you are not Irish. You were born in you were born in England? No, you were born in the US. Shut up.
Was I born in England? I'm English.
No, you definitely wasn't.
Okay,
Swaggy, answer me this question. Were you born in Ireland?
No, but But listen, genetics and DNA.
No. End of discussion. End of discussion.
What's that shit called? 23andMe. My ancestry.com. I'm gonna do that.
Okay,
I'm gonna do that. And when it comes back that I'm like,
two can have a look at it.
When it comes back
podcast.
that I'm like 57% Irish, y'all gonna be buying me lifetime supplies of Guinness for putting me through the struggle.
You're not Irish. Shut the fuck up. Okay, so we have talked about the back notes. We have talked about fuck's sake, Swag. We have talked about the PSGP, and we've also discussed 126. Who's winning, Driz or Dex?
Driz.
Okay. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And so, swag bag and swag bucket?
Swag bag, I give it to Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, Dave for those
murdered
2 fights
Ginger.
that he murdered Ginger and Vanio.
Yep.
And I don't have a scum bucket for this GP. I thought everybody fought really clean.
Mud.
But I mean, that's your scum bucket.
That's my scum bucket. Yep, Mud for pulling out.
Hey man, I think I already explained what Mud was going through earlier. You know, he thought he could do it.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
Because honestly, if I was signed up for PT and I had plans to get drunk, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to get drunk and I'm coming back to do my fight.
That wasn't my issue. I don't mind it. You can do. You can fight your fight if upside down, wrong the way forward, hanging from the ceiling, your feet dangling over a cliff, or like in the aeroplane. I don't care. What I care is, if you're gonna do your fight, do it. If not, pull out 2 to 3 days beforehand, at least, please. I beg.
No, doctor's right.
Yeah, no, that's the way that one goes. Okie doko. Then I think we are done with this week's podcast of dissecting everything.
Yeah, bro, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. This has got a bit crazy.
Anyhow, sign my petition to fire Doctor right now.
Yeah, we had massive technical issues before this. Like, we started about 2 hours ago, and now 2 hours later, for a 40-minute episode, we're only just finishing. It's kind of insane. So then, if you like what you've seen from us, you want to see the results of PT126, come watch it on PrimeTime MMA on Twitch. I will be hosting it, so I will be joining me in the comment booth, and so will Mr. J Dime, both who stream on Twitch, like we see from Swaggy. Go check him out on YouTube and on Twitch. He runs his own podcast called The Swagcast. It's a bunch of nutters. You'll see how much more he becomes nutters as later goes on.
I had Roger on yesterday. Mm-hmm. All right, a lovely voice of the PT Octagon, and it was a beautiful episode. Okay, it was so wonderful.
But you've told me the other people you're trying to get on, and it's just asking for the insanity.
Hey, don't leak anything.
I'm not going to leak anything. I just know, and the ladies and gentlemen can find out who you're going to bring on, because they are some interesting people, to say the least. Okay. Well then, have a good night. Catch you later. Catch us Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. We're back again, 8:30 BST, because we're now summertime and you're still Eastern, so you pee. Alright, adios. Have a good night.